Why do you feel disconnected from others? Solitude from the perspective of psychology, philosophy, and spirituality. When solitude is no longer a burden. Have you ever walked into a crowded room, surrounded by laughter and lively conversations, yet felt completely out of place, as if you were an outsider looking in? Have you ever ended a long day of social interactions feeling utterly drained, yearning for solitude to recharge? If so, you are not alone in this experience. The truth is, not everyone finds joy in casual social interactions, loud gatherings, or the constant noise of modern life. For some, solitude is not something to fear, but a natural state that allows them to reconnect with themselves. However, this is not just a matter of personality or personal preference. From the perspectives of psychology, philosophy, and even spirituality, the feeling of social disconnection often reflects deeper aspects of human nature, self-awareness, and the journey toward truth and enlightenment. Let's explore why some people prefer solitude and, more importantly, how you can turn this state into an advantage for your spiritual and intellectual growth. Through this journey, practical philosophy will accompany you, providing insights into life's philosophies, human psychology, and the path to inner peace. If you seek practical wisdom, from ancient philosophical schools to modern psychological analysis, join us in uncovering the truth about yourself. Backhand index pointing right. Follow practical philosophy to access deeper content on mindset, self-awareness, and personal growth. Now, let's explore 3 different perspectives. 1. The psychology of social disconnection. You are an introvert, but that doesn't mean you're lonely. In psychology, one of the most common reasons why someone may not enjoy socializing is their natural tendency toward introversion. Introverts do not find joy in superficial small talk. Instead, they seek deep, meaningful connections and thoughtful conversations. However, modern society often glorifies extroversion. We frequently hear statements like, "You should go out more," "Networking is the key to success," or "Successful people have a wide social circle." But the truth is, not everyone needs constant social engagement to feel fulfilled and happy. Introversion is not a flaw, but a way for the mind to recharge. If you feel content and at peace when spending time alone, it is not a sign of loneliness, but rather an indication of a rich and vibrant inner world. Introversion is also closely linked to heightened observational skills, deep thinking, and creativity. When you spend more time with yourself, you have the opportunity to reflect, develop ideas, and explore aspects of life that others may overlook in the fast-paced world of social interactions. Introverts tend to have strong intuition, a heightened sense of self-awareness, and a deeper emotional perception of the world around them. Without being constantly engaged in social conversations, they can observe the world through a refined lens, recognizing subtle truths about human nature that others may miss. Another important factor is energy management. Social interactions can be mentally exhausting for introverts. It's not that they dislike people, but they need solitude to recover after prolonged engagement. This is completely natural and should not be seen as a problem. Society often pressures introverts to change and adapt to an extroverted world. But in reality, maintaining a balance between social interactions and personal space is essential for healthy personal development. Moreover, introversion helps develop essential skills such as concentration, critical thinking, and creativity. Spending time alone allows you to read, learn, pursue hobbies, and even find innovative solutions to life's challenges. The key is to accept and embrace your true nature, instead of forcing yourself to become more extroverted to fit societal expectations. Find ways to leverage your natural strengths for personal growth. Introverts may not be the loudest voices in the room, but they are often the most thoughtful, insightful, and perceptive individuals. And that is precisely what makes them special. One reason you may find it difficult to be around others could stem from negative experiences in the past. If you have ever been betrayed, taken advantage of, or hurt by those you once trusted, keeping your distance from others can be a natural defense mechanism. Psychology refers to this as a defensive response. When a person experiences emotional wounds, they tend to avoid situations that could lead to similar pain. This heightened caution in relationships can sometimes make it feel as though you no longer want to open up to anyone. Deep emotional wounds can shape the way you perceive yourself and the world around you. You may develop an underlying fear that people will eventually hurt you. This can lead to a defensive mindset, causing you to doubt even those who genuinely care about you. As the weight of past hurts accumulates, you may find yourself withdrawing in an attempt to shield yourself from the risk of being hurt again. However, it is important to remember that not everyone is the same. Past wounds should not become barriers that prevent you from experiencing meaningful connections. Learning to trust selectively does not mean giving up on trust entirely. Caution is necessary, but it does not mean you should close your heart forever. Healing is not about erasing the past, but about learning to see it from a new perspective. You can start by building safe relationships with those who understand and respect you. Sometimes, connection is a crucial part of the healing process. When you find people who do not hurt you but instead help restore your faith in sincerity and kindness. Additionally, practices such as meditation, journaling, and therapy can help you confront your past and release negative emotions. Recognizing that past pain does not define your future will allow you to open yourself up to the world again. Ultimately, understand that suffering is a part of the human journey. Painful experiences can make you stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Instead of allowing the past to control you, use it as a lesson that helps you grow and make more informed choices for the future. Some people feel disconnected from society simply because they see the world differently. They have no interest in small talk, are unenthusiastic about popular topics, or feel that the world operates on values they cannot align with. This is often the case for deep thinkers, those who frequently ponder the meaning of life, philosophy, and existence. When you find yourself in a conversation with a group of people but feel disengaged, it is not your fault. It simply means you are operating on a different frequency than they are. People with a unique perception of the world often feel out of place in a society where superficial values are glorified. They tend to focus on profound issues, question human nature, the universe, and ethics, while others may only be interested in current trends, mainstream events, or simple entertainment. This can make them feel like they do not truly belong anywhere. This difference in perception is not just about preferences. It extends to how one experiences and interprets the world. Some individuals possess heightened sensitivity. They pick up on things that others overlook, such as insincerity in conversations, hidden motives behind words, or the emptiness of rigid social norms. As a result, they are reluctant to engage in discussions that feel inauthentic or lack meaningful value. However, thinking differently does not mean you have to isolate yourself. You do not need to force yourself to fit into society unnaturally. Instead, seek out those who share your values and perspectives. Connection is not about quantity but quality. Even a few meaningful relationships can provide a sense of belonging to something greater. You can also find communities of like-minded individuals who share your interests or philosophies. Today, the internet is a powerful tool that allows people with similar passions to connect, no matter how far apart they may be. Engaging in philosophy groups, spiritual studies, or deep thinking forums can help you find people who resonate with your thoughts. Most importantly, self-acceptance is key. When you recognize that your differences are not a flaw but a gift, you will no longer feel isolated. Instead, you will realize that the world needs people with unique perspectives to bring diversity and depth to life. Learn to embrace your differences and turn them into strengths, rather than feeling like an outsider. Finally, understand that everyone has their own path. You do not need to be like anyone else. Your uniqueness is what makes you valuable. 2. The philosophical perspective. When solitude becomes a form of wisdom. Stoic philosophy. Inner freedom is the key. The Stoic philosophy, Stoicism, has a famous saying, "We cannot control the outside world, but we can control how we respond to it." This principle helps those who feel socially disconnected understand that solitude is not a negative state, but rather an opportunity to focus on oneself. One of the most fundamental lessons of Stoicism is inner freedom, the idea that your happiness should not depend on external circumstances. When you learn to embrace solitude as a natural part of life, you no longer feel pressured to fit in or force yourself into relationships that do not align with your values. In Stoic thought, solitude is not something to fear but an opportunity to cultivate mental discipline. Philosophers such as Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus emphasize that true peace is found through mastering one's thoughts and emotions rather than being controlled by external events. When you stop seeking validation from others, you reach a state of genuine freedom, where your joy and peace are no longer dictated by external circumstances. Stoicism also teaches that solitude is not the same as isolation. Instead, it is a state that allows you to see things more clearly. By distancing yourself from the noise and expectations of society, you gain the ability to observe yourself objectively, understand your true worth, and make wiser decisions. A truly free person is one who is not bound by societal pressures or external judgments. In daily practice, those who follow Stoic philosophy often dedicate time to silence and self-reflection. Many Stoics keep journals to analyze their actions, emotions, and thoughts, refining their discipline and clarity of perception. They also practice resilience and acceptance, not in a passive way, but by actively choosing how they respond to things beyond their control. Solitude in Stoicism is not something to endure but a tool for intellectual and emotional growth. When you learn to harness solitude for inner strength, you become more resilient, less influenced by external forces, and more in control of your own life in a positive way. Taoist philosophy, flowing with nature. Laozi once said, "To know that you have enough is to be truly rich." In Taoist thought, one does not need to force themselves to conform to society if doing so does not bring them inner peace. Taoists believe that solitude is a natural part of existence, much like water flowing in its course without resistance. If you feel the need to withdraw from social interactions, it may be a sign that your mind is seeking tranquility, and there is nothing wrong with that. Taoist philosophy encourages people to live in harmony with nature, rather than forcing themselves into societal molds that do not align with their true essence. Laozi teaches that those who can let go of meaningless desires, external pressures, and unnecessary ambitions will attain deep inner serenity. When we look at nature, we see that everything unfolds effortlessly. Rivers flow, trees grow with the seasons, and birds soar freely in the sky. Human beings, too, should embrace solitude as a natural part of life, rather than feeling pressured to fit into a world that does not resonate with them. Many Taoist sages chose a reclusive life, dwelling in forests and mountains to cultivate both their spirit and body. They believed that by distancing themselves from the chaos of society, they could attain wisdom and inner tranquility. However, this does not mean abandoning the world. It means finding a balance between engaging with society and maintaining inner stillness. If you feel reluctant to engage with the world, it may be a sign that your soul needs restoration. In such moments, take time to listen to yourself, practice meditation, and focus on what brings you peace, rather than forcing yourself into meaningless conversations. Learn to cherish solitude as a gift rather than viewing it as loneliness. 3. Solitude from a spiritual perspective, yoga and Buddhism. Yoga, solitude, and the journey to self-discovery. In yoga philosophy, solitude is not seen as isolation, but as an essential phase in the path to enlightenment. Many great yogis withdraw from society to dedicate themselves to meditation, self-inquiry, and the discovery of their true nature. Yoga emphasizes that liberation cannot be found in the noise of the external world, but must be sought within. A deep yoga practice reveals that suffering and distress arise from attachment to the material world. As one enters a meditative state, the mind becomes still, allowing for a true connection with one's pure essence. Hatha Yoga focuses on using the body as a tool to prepare the mind for deep meditation. Meanwhile, Raja Yoga, also known as the path of meditation, views solitude as an indispensable part of spiritual evolution. Many sages and monks spend years in forests or caves, distancing themselves from worldly distractions to focus on deep contemplation and the pursuit of ultimate truth. The Bhagavad Gita, one of the most revered texts in yoga, teaches that a seeker of truth must cultivate detachment from worldly desires. Lord Krishna explains that only when a person can live without being bound by the praise or criticism of others can they attain absolute inner peace. Buddhism, solitude, and the path to enlightenment. Buddhism does not perceive solitude as a rejection of society, but as a means to transcend worldly suffering. Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, renounced his palace, power, and royal status to embark on the path of liberation. He realized that true happiness does not lie in worldly pleasures, but in freedom from suffering. In his teachings, the Buddha frequently emphasized the importance of silence and meditation. The Satipatthana Sutta, 4 Foundations of Mindfulness, instructs practitioners to observe the body, feelings, mind, and reality itself to fully understand their nature, leading to complete awareness. Solitude, in Buddhism, is not about escaping life but about seeing things as they truly are. However, Buddhism does not advocate for total isolation. The Buddha taught that a community of like-minded individuals, the Sangha, can support and guide each other on the spiritual path. This highlights that while solitude can be beneficial, it must be accompanied by wisdom and mindfulness. Some Buddhist traditions, such as Zen Buddhism, emphasize absolute stillness and meditation, where the mind transcends all thoughts, leaving only pure awareness. Vajrayana Buddhism, Tibetan Buddhism, on the other hand, regards solitude as a powerful tool to purify the mind and connect with the subtle energies of the universe. Solitude and the path to self-realization. Whether in yoga or Buddhism, solitude is seen as a means to spiritual awakening. However, it is important to understand that solitude does not mean alienation from others. In reality, many enlightened beings return to the world after their solitary journey to help guide others toward liberation. For individuals today, solitude can be a time for self-exploration, reflection, and deeper understanding of oneself. In a world that constantly demands connectivity, learning to embrace solitude can be a great advantage. Instead of seeing it as something negative, consider it as an opportunity for growth, maturity, and inner freedom. When understood and practiced correctly, solitude is not something to fear. It is a gateway to a deeper reality, where you can truly listen to yourself and find genuine peace. As we reach the end of this journey, one truth becomes evident: solitude is not a curse, nor is it something to escape from. It is, in fact, a gateway to self-discovery, a sacred space where you can listen to your inner voice without the distractions of the external world. The greatest thinkers, mystics, and philosophers throughout history have found profound wisdom in solitude. It is in moments of stillness that we gain clarity, in silence that we hear our truest thoughts, and in aloneness that we cultivate an unshakable sense of self. Rather than viewing solitude as a void to be filled, consider it a sanctuary, an opportunity to refine your mind, strengthen your inner resilience, and deepen your understanding of life. Practical philosophy exists to guide you through this path, helping you transform solitude into a source of power, not isolation. Here, we explore timeless philosophical insights, uncover the depths of human psychology, and offer practical wisdom to navigate life with awareness and purpose. If this journey resonates with you, stay with us. Let's continue to uncover the truths of existence, sharpen our minds, and embrace a life of self-awareness and growth. Subscribe to Practical Philosophy to keep exploring the wisdom that shapes our inner and outer worlds. The journey doesn't end here. It's only the beginning.